IIT Ahmedabad. In this lecture, I am going to start new topic of the computer-aided process synthesis. So let's start. You can see on the screen, chapter name is Reactor Design and Reactor Network Synthesis, and topic name is Reactor Models. So to understand reactor models, you should know basic concepts of the reactors. So in this lecture, I will be discuss with you different reactors first. After that, we will see in detail reactor models. So let's start. You can see on the screen, in this chapter we are going to study objective and to understand the concept of the reactors, followed by types of reactor models in the simulator and attainable regions. Means to simulate any process in a computer, in any software, you should know first model. So different models are available in chemical engineering. Those are nothing but reactor models, which we are going to see in this lecture. Before that, we will see different types of the reactor. So what is the meaning of reactor? Reactor is nothing but it is a one type of vessel in which reaction can be carried out, and we are getting multiple products. Those are nothing but byproducts or main products of the reaction, okay, by using catalyst. So that vessel is nothing but reactor. After that, these are different types of the reactor. You can see on the screen. First one is batch reactor, followed by semi-batch reactor, continuous reactors, and there are different continuous reactors are available in chemical engineering field. First one is MFR and second one is PFR. Now I will discuss with you important points of batch reactor. You can see on the screen. First point is batch reactor is the term which is used for vessel type. This batch reactor is nothing but one type of vessel. Secondly, there are two holes on the tank. There are two holes on the tank on the top side which are used to charge the reactors. Means for the feeding purpose. Means whatever the reactants are available which we are going to feed in the reactor, we are going to feed from those holes which are available on the top surface of the reactor. After that, we cannot put or taken out anything in while the reaction. This is a major difference between batch reactors and semi-batch reactor. In batch reactor, we cannot put or we cannot withdraw anything during the reaction, but in semi-batch reactors, we can put or withdraw anything during the reaction. Next point, this equipment comprises of tank along with agitator and integral heating and cooling system. Means batch reactor is consist of integral heating and cooling system. There is nothing but one type of jacket. There may be cooling jacket or heating jacket is available in the batch reactor. That is nothing but internal part of the system. Next point is its structure comprises of steel, stainless steel, glass line steel, glass and exotic alloys. This is nothing but MOC. MOC stands for material of construction. Means different kind of the material can consist of the different material. Okay, different material can have the different MOC. Okay, so in this phenomena, in this batch reactor, we are going to use here steel, stainless steel, glass line steel and glass and exotic alloys. After that, last point related to the batch reactor is these reactors are widely used in process industries, okay, and also useful in laboratory operations like small scale production and inducing fermentation. All these small scale industries, okay, and in large scale industry as well, but for research purpose only, okay, batch reactor can be used. Okay, so all these are the important points. I am repeating what we have seen in this slide. Batch reactor is nothing but one type of the vessel. On the top surface of the vessel, there are two holes. Those two holes are being used for the feeding purpose. After that, during the reaction, we cannot put or we cannot withdraw anything from the batch reactor. But on other side, there is a semi-batch reactor, which I am going to explain you in next slide. In semi-batch reactor, we can withdraw or we can put anything during the reaction. And next point, this is nothing but MOC. It is nothing but stainless steel, glass line material. Glass line steel is used for the acidic material. Okay, means if you are having reaction mixture is acidic in nature, for that purpose you can use internal MOC. Internal material of the construction is nothing but glass line steel. Okay, we can avoid the side reaction by using this. Okay, so all these are the all important points related to the batch reactor. Now we will see semi-batch reactor. So you can see on the screen, these are the important points related to the semi-batch reactor. First point is semi-batch reactor operate like batch reactors in that they take place in a single stirred tank with a similar equipment. Okay, means here we are having stirrer for the better mixing. Means this is also one type of the vessel on which there are the holes for the feeding purpose, and but it is consist of agitator for the better mixing. That may be paddle type of the agitator. Next point is, however, they are modified to allow reactor reactants addition or product removal in the time. And next point is, however, they are modified to allow reactant addition or product removal in time. I told you there is a difference between batch reactor and semi-batch reactor. In semi-batch reactor, we can put or withdraw anything during the reaction. So that is nothing but meaning of this second point. We can withdraw or we can put anything during the reaction, but in batch reactor, this is not possible. Okay, so in Viva, this question can be asked, what is difference between semi-batch reactor and batch reactor? So this is the answer. Okay, in batch reactor, we cannot put or withdraw anything during the reaction, but in semi-batch reactor, this is possible. We can put or withdraw anything during the reaction. After that, next point, in normal batch reactor. Now this is point related to the batch reactor, which we have seen in previous slide. In normal batch reactor, however, allows partial filling of the reactant. Now this point is related to the batch reactor. In previous slide, we have seen a normal batch reactor is filled with reactants in a single stir tank at time t is equal to 0 and the reaction proceeds. Means whatever the reactants are available, we are going to provide all those reactants in an initial stage. We cannot put anything during the reaction. This is a major part of the batch reactor. So at t is equal to 0, whatever the reactants are available, just feed all those reactants in the vessel. Okay, so this is the meaning of this third point. Next point, a semi-batch reactor, however, allows partial filling of the reactants while the flexibility of the adding more as time progresses. So in semi-batch reactor, we can put some means partial amount of the reactants at the initial stage, and whatever the remaining amount of the reactants, we can just put all those reactants meanwhile the reaction proceeds. Means whatever the requirement of the reactants, according to requirement, we can provide all the reactants during the reaction. Okay, so this is the meaning of fourth point. Now last point is, stirring in a both type is very efficient, okay, which allows the batch and semi-batch reactor to assume uniform composition and temperature throughout. Means in these reactors, there is uniform composition and temperature is available throughout the reaction. This is because of the stirrer. I told you significance of the stirrer. This stirrer is available in MFR as well, and batch reactor and semi-batch reactor as well. Significance of the stirrer is that this can allow the uniform temperature throughout the system, throughout the reaction, and it provides well mixing, okay, to get the better product. All these are the important points related to the semi-batch reactor. Now next one, now we will see continuous reactors. So you can see on the screen, these are two types of the continuous reactor. First one is MFR and second one is PFR. Now we will see some important points related to the MFR. First point is, there is no concentration gradient within the reactor since there is a uniform mixing. In MFR, there is a uniform mixing throughout the reactor. That's why there is a no concentration gradient is available. I told you meaning of concentration gradient. Concentration gradient means there is a concentration difference. Okay, concentration difference means concentration gradient, and there is a no concentration gradient available in the MFR because there is a uniform mixing throughout the reactor. Second point, rate of reaction varies with the concentration alone. Now next point, rate of reaction varies with the concentration alone. Means according to this point, rate of reaction varies only with the concentration. Okay, so these 2 points are very important related to the MFR. Now we will see next important points related to the PFR. So you can see on the screen, there is a concentration gradient within the reactor in axial direction. There is a concentration gradient, means there is a concentration difference available in the PFR. I told you there is a no uniform composition in the PFR. Uniform composition is available in MFR because there is a uniform mixing. But in PFR, there is a concentration variation according to the length of the reactor. That's why there is a concentration gradient within the reactor in axial direction, since there is a no mixing in this direction. There is a no mixing is available in the axial direction. That's why there is a concentration variation along the length of the reactor. Okay, and there is a concentration gradient is available. Concentration gradient means concentration difference. After that, rate of reaction varies with the position. I told you in MFR, there is a rate of reaction varies with concentration alone, but here the rate of reaction varies along the position as well. Okay, so these are the important points related to the PFR and MFR. This PFR and MFR, these are nothing but continuous reactor. If in exam, in Viva, if anyone asks you what is difference between MFR and PFR, so just one difference is major difference, there is no concentration gradient is available in MFR, but concentration gradient is available in PFR. Okay. So this is all about continuous reactor. Now we will see important points. So this is all about the PFR and MFR. Now we will see some important figures. Okay, so you can see this is a batch reactor. Okay, so this is nothing but one type of the vessel which is a consist of speed motor, after that speed reducer, after that deep leg jacket, that is nothing but cooling jacket or heating jacket. After that there is a baffle. Baffle is used to increase the turbulence in the system. Okay, after that there is a drain valve, followed by impeller and thermowell to measure the temperature. After that liquid surface is there. So this is the figure for batch reactor, and in this batch reactor whatever the reactants we are using, all those reactants we have to use at the initial purpose, means all those reactants taken at the initial stage only. You cannot put or withdraw anything during the reaction. After that, this is the figure for PFR. This is nothing but plug flow reactor. You can see there is mixing. Okay, there is mixing in radial direction, but there is no mixing, no uniform mixing in the axial direction. Means there is a concentration gradient is available in the axial direction. After that, this is the MFR. This is nothing but mixed flow reactor. It is also having one paddle type agitator for the better mixing. After that, there is a motor is available to increase the speed. After that, there is one hole on the top side to provide the feed. After that, you can see there is a baffle, agitator and cooling jacket. Cooling jacket is used to control the temperature of the system. After that, baffle is available to increase the turbulence and agitator to increase the mixing. Okay, now we will see next topic, that is reactor models. So there are 4 types of the models available in computer aided process synthesis. First one is stoichiometric model, followed by chemical equilibrium model, followed by CSTR model and PFR model. Now we will see some important points related to these models. So you can see on the screen, first model is stoichiometric model. In stoichiometric model, you can see first point is for manufacturing of methanol, chemical volatility order is H2 is more volatile than CO, CO is more volatile than CH3OH. This is nothing but methanol. And in this model, we are going to find stoichiometric matrix. So for this purpose, to find the stoichiometric matrix, you should know volatility of the various components. So first point is nothing but order of the volatility, followed by we should know reaction, chemical reaction which is going to take place in this model. First reaction is nothing but 2H2 plus CO, it gives methanol, means 2H2 plus CO, it gives CH3OH. Now to get the stoichiometric matrix, you should know how to write stoichiometric equation. So this equation can be write like this, you can see on the screen, minus 2H2 minus CO plus CH3OH is equal to 0. So what I have done here, you can see whatever the things available, whatever the components available on the left hand side, means whatever the reactants are available, I am going to take all those reactants on the right hand side. So I will get like this, minus 2H2 minus CO plus CH3OH is equal to 0. After that, there is a need to write one stoichiometric matrix where you have to collect all the stoichiometric coefficients. Stoichiometric matrix is nothing but it is consist of stoichiometric coefficients only. Okay, so you can see in a stoichiometric equation, H2 is having the stoichiometric coefficient is nothing but minus 2. After that, for CO minus 1 and stoichiometric coefficient for methanol, that is plus 1. So you have to write like this, stoichiometric matrix is nothing but minus 2, minus 1 and plus 1. So this is nothing but stoichiometric model. Okay, I am repeating, in this model you should know volatility of the components, followed by the reaction, followed by the stoichiometric equation, and fourth one is stoichiometric matrix. Okay, in stoichiometric equation, write the stoichiometric equation, you have to take all reactants on the product side. Okay, and after that you have to collect all the stoichiometric coefficient in this manner, that stoichiometric matrix for this question is nothing but minus 2, minus 1 and plus 1. So this is all about stoichiometric model. Now we will see next one, that is chemical equilibrium model. So in this model, we have to develop the equilibrium constant, that is nothing but Kc. You can see on the screen. In chemical equilibrium model, we are going to write equation for the Kc, where we are going to write the concentration of the product divided by the concentration of the reactants. But for that purpose, you should know reaction. Okay, so consider the reaction AA plus BB, it gives CC plus DD. Okay, means reactants are nothing but capital A and capital B, and products are nothing but C and D. and here small a and small b and small c and small d are nothing but stoichiometric coefficients, and here you have to write all the stoichiometric coefficients at the power whenever you are writing the equation for equilibrium constant. Okay, so you can see here we are writing the chemical equilibrium model, and in this chemical equilibrium model we are going to develop the equation for equilibrium constant, that is Kc. For that purpose we should know reaction occurring, that is nothing but AA plus BB, it gives CC plus DD, and this reaction should be reversible in order. This is very important, this reaction should be in reversible order. After that, from this reaction equilibrium constant can be found by the following equation. So you can see here Kc is equal to concentration of C raised to C, concentration of D raised to small d, concentration of A raised to A, after that concentration of B, component B raised to small b. So what is the meaning of this? So Kc is nothing but equilibrium constant. C shows that it is in the term of the concentration. K is nothing but equilibrium constant. Okay, and this K is available in terms of the concentration. That's why this equilibrium constant in terms of the concentration. Okay, that is equal to the concentration of the C. Okay, the square bracket shows concentration in mole per dm cube. Okay, means mole dm minus 3. You can say mole per dm cube. After that you can see right hand side of the equation on the top, left hand side on the bottom. I told you whenever we are writing the equation for the Kc, we are taking the concentration of the product on the numerator and we are taking the concentration of the reactant in the denominator. Okay. After that last one, that small c, small d, small a and small b, all these are nothing but stoichiometric coefficients. Okay, that is nothing but the indices are the number in each substances in the chemical equation, that is nothing but stoichiometric coefficient. Okay, and this is the equation for the equilibrium model, chemical equilibrium model. Means whenever the question being asked in the exam, okay, you have to write all these equations. Before that you have to write the reaction, general reaction. After that you have to write just equation for the equilibrium constant. So here we have seen two models. First one is the stoichiometric model. Okay, in stoichiometric model we have developed here stoichiometric matrix. For that purpose you should know volatility order, after that chemical reaction followed by stoichiometric coefficient, and after that you have to write stoichiometric matrix. Okay, to get the stoichiometric matrix you should know how to write stoichiometric equation. So here you can see for the stoichiometric equation we are taking reactants on the product side. After that in chemical equilibrium model we have collected here one reaction. After that we have written one equation for the Kc, where we have written the concentration of the product on the numerator and concentration of the reactant in the denominator, and whatever the stoichiometric coefficient available we have written all those indices at the top side, or I can say power of the concentration, that is nothing but C raised to C, capital D raised to D, capital A raised to A, capital B raised to B. Now we will see PFR model and MFR model. So for that purpose I already discussed in the first slide what is the meaning of PFR and MFR. I am repeating here now. In PFR model, composition of the fluid gradually changes from higher concentration to the lower concentration according to the length of the reactor. Okay, in PFR model I told you there is no mixing in the axial direction, no uniform mixing. That's why the concentration is different along the length, and all fluid elements have the same residence time. Means in PFR model the residence time is the same for all the fluid element, but concentration is different. After that you can see here CSTR kinetic model. This is nothing but MFR model. Contents in a CSTR assumed to be perfectly mixed, means uniformly mixed. Okay, I am repeating, CSTR kinetic model is nothing but MFR model, and here contents are assumed to be perfectly mixed, means uniformly mixed. After that composition and temperature are assumed to be uniform throughout the reactor volume, means because of that agitation, I told you there is an agitator, pedal type of the agitator is available in CSTR model. Okay, because of that agitation there is a perfect mixing, uniform mixing, and composition is the same and temperature is the same throughout the reactor. Last point, in a CSTR model the fluid elements do not have the same residence time, but in PFR model the residence time of all the fluid element is same throughout the reaction. Okay, so all these points are important related to the CSTR model. So what you have seen in this lecture, I have discussed with you different types of the models. After that we have seen in the initial stage different types of the reactors as well. All these things are important. If question asked in exam, okay, explain different reactors, you have to explain all batch reactor, semi batch reactor, PFR and MFR. If question asked on the reactor models, you have to explain all these four models. You have to write also related to the batch reactor, semi batch reactor, PFR and MFR. Means if question asks like this, explain in detail 4 models, okay, reactor models. You have to write what is the batch reactor, what is the semi-batch reactor, what is the PFR, what is MFR. After that you have to explain stoichiometric model, chemical equilibrium model, PFR model and CSTR kinetic model. So this is all about this lecture. We will see next topic in the next lecture. Thank you very much.